to work.
I have to pee, dude. This is not fun. I really gotta go.
I don't care. You need to do your job!
No, you're being ridiculous. Even Fish Teto agrees.
No.
See? After numerous complaints about Rockman World 2, Capcom decided to go back to the original company that developed the first Rockman World game and ask them to develop Rockman World 3. Because of this, the sprites are back to their normal size for the most part, and the music is no longer original compositions, and most importantly, the difficulty is back up. Not as hard as Rockman World 1, but much more difficult than Rockman World 2. Mega Man games are not supposed to be easy after all. We also gained the ability to use the charge shot in this game, which is a nice feature, and on top of that, we're able to properly jump out of sliding, so I'm already on board. Also, Eddie joins us for this adventure, and unlike the first Rockman World game, the physics and controls are much smoother, which of course is going to make the game a lot more fun and tolerable. Except one annoying thing is the energy pickups do once again freeze the game, which is pretty stupid. In fact, there are a few points in this game where I picked up health jumping over a hole or something, and it killed my momentum and then me. So that's really stupid, but it doesn't really come up that much. Also, to make the game more true to Mega Man 3 on the NES, we also get lag, which wasn't at all present in the last two games. Honestly, I think that's more of a testament to Rockman World 1 and 2 though, since this is on the original Game Boy. I'm not sure how any of these games run as smooth as they do, but opening the game, we are once again greeted with only 4 bosses, this time being Gemini Man, Snake Man, Spark Man, and Shadow Man, otherwise known as the Mega Man 3 bosses that were not in Rockman World 2. This time the stage select screen is a lot fancier, and we even get a cool animation before each level. I started with Snake Man stage because he was easy on the NES, and we're greeted with a pretty faithful recreation of that stage. I'm not sure why there are palm trees in the background, but I do appreciate the originality. As far as originality goes though, that's pretty much it. This stage is basically the same as the NES version, from the giant snake mini bosses to those weirdos that jump over you, and we even get to climb up into the sky. Except luckily this time there is no glitchy platforms. That's not to say this stage is bad or anything. In fact, most of the rooms are not exact copies of the original game, so this feels like a remix more than a copy, which will be a running trend for this game. Gemini Man stage is more the same. We do start off with basically the same starting room as the NES, but then we get a nice remix, which is fun. The backgrounds and foregrounds are pretty disorienting and freaky in this stage, though I can't decide if that's cool or annoying. What is annoying, however, are these weird eggs you have to shoot. These were already on the edge of being annoying on the NES, but with this game being so zoomed in, it feels like this section takes an hour of just spamming shoot. Charge shots do make these eggs more tolerable, but it still feels annoying. My thumb was starting to hurt after a while, and don't say skill issue, I have arthritis. This stage is just fine though, another fun remix as you'd expect. Shadow Man stage is probably the most faithful to the original NES version. It does add these bombs for some reason, but they're kind of annoying if anything, since they're just a waiting mechanic. But this stage is literally just an easier version of the NES stage. The only remix parts seem to be the order in which the rooms appear. I mean, we have the rooms that turn into space, the walking grenades, the jumping vacuum cleaners, and even these parachute enemies that everyone in the comment section always tells me to use topspin on in Mega Man 3 on the NES, but I never will, so stop asking. They are easier in this stage though, as is everything, since you're able to easily reach the projector things on the ceiling due to the screen being so zoomed in. Overall though, still a good time. Sparkman stage is one of my favorites in this game because even though it is very similar to the NES, I feel like it's a more compact version. It has all of the challenging parts like the laggy section with the spikes on the ceiling and the moving platforms, as well as the classic spike falls, but not as much of the pointless waiting sections where you get like 3 rooms in a row of enemies. I mean, okay, there are some of those rooms, but you get what I'm saying. It once again feels like an easier version of the original stage, which is getting annoying to say over and over again. So here's a fun fact. I thought those spark things on the ground damaged you, so I spent most of this level jumping over them, and it turns out they do not. I wasted my time and energy. Anyway, after defeating the 4th Robot Master, it's time to take on Dr. Wily, and we are immediately greeted with block puzzles. This isn't so bad, but it's worth mentioning that the controls, while much better than Rockman World 1 and even Rockman World 2, still are not as tight as the NES, so you do have to be careful. But then we're greeted with a big suction cup guy. Hey, we have our first castle boss. Luckily, this fight is super easy, and now it's time for the refight. Alright, never mind, we just got Mega Man 7. And I mean for real this time, not like in Rockman World 2 where it was like technically a Mega Man 7. We really got Mega Man 7. And we're now greeted with Dive Man, Skull Man, Drill Man, and Dust Man. And much like Mega Man 7, these stages are a lot harder than the first 4. We are presented with more of the original Rockman World difficulty, consisting of pixel perfect precise jumps, spikes everywhere, and just mean level design. But let's go through each of these levels one by one. Dust Man starts out by introducing enemies that jump out of holes. That's probably my least favorite Mega Mega Man mechanic of all time. I've talked about this a lot in earlier videos, but it's been a while, so I'll just be real, I hate these things. I know you have to shoot them and then jump, but that doesn't make them any less stupid. We also get enemies that only spawn in once you're about to get hit by them. Absurd enemy placement where you have to know where they are in advance to not get killed. Spikes that are impossible to jump over. I mean, I don't know what to even do here. I just damage boosted, but that certainly can't be the intended way to cross this, right? According to the gameplay from X-Raven XP that I've been using, you can use Rush, but I swear I tried that and I just died, so I don't know. Now, I did play the original monochrome version of this game, and this gameplay is of the DX hack just so you can see it in color, so there might be a few inconsistencies as far as that goes, but none of that is even the worst atrocity. The worst part of this stage is the Crusher section. Normally these are fairly easy, but with the zoomed in screen along with the company that developed the first Rockman game, this is just painful. Yes, you can use charge shots to knock out large sections of these blocks at a time, but it's just so easy to die here. I feel like this was harder for me than it would be for most other people because I'm very impatient, but I died here several times, and even when I didn't die here, I ended up dying right after this and spawning right before the Crusher section because of the checkpoint, which made it even worse. Anyway, this level was a huge difficulty spike. So next I decided to try Dive Man stage and was met with just as much difficulty as before. There are spikes everywhere, and the underwater physics in this game are not bad, but as someone who's never played this game before, I was not used to them at all, so making a lot of these jumps is a much more difficult task than it seems. This level isn't as difficult as Dustman's, but the section with the water going up and down is just brutal. There's almost no room for error, and you have to be really familiar with the physics in this game to get past it, which just takes time. At the very least, there were Metroids though. I love that game. You guys still want to see me make Metroid videos? I'm gonna do it in 2026, but only if you want to see them. Drill Man stage was not nearly as difficult though. It certainly wasn't easy, and it's much harder than the first 4 stations in this game, but after what we went through with Dive Man and Dust Man, this is nothing. The main difficulty here to me was the sheer amount of enemies. Unlike in Rockman 2, this game is much more punishing as far as taking damage goes, but it's still not as bad as Rockman World 1, and these stupid boulders are hard to dodge, so I was on low health the majority of this stage. Skullman stage was the easiest out of the 4 new Robot Masters. It's still decently challenging, but not at all bad. Nothing was cheap or stupid. This just felt like a run-of-the-mill Mega Man level. I don't even have much to say about this level, I just kind of cruised through it since I was expecting some kind of insane difficulty like the other stages. I will say, despite these last 4 Robot Master stages being difficult, I do think there was more originality here than the first 4. After asking you guys why you didn't like Rockman World 2, originality seemed to be the main complaint, which I understand, but I also still enjoyed playing the remix stages. And I've enjoyed them here too, but at the same time, I gotta be honest. Despite being difficult, I did enjoy these second half stages more due to their originality. Except for Dustman's stupid Crusher, that sucks and I never want to play it again. But after defeating the last 4 Robot Masters, it's time for Dr. Wily. Again? This time we just teleport right to him and Mega Man, come on, he's right there, shoot him! Shoot! Instead of shooting Dr. Wily and ending this whole charade, Mega Man decides to battle Punk. Now, Punk is more difficult and overall a much better battle than Inker or Quint, but to me, he still wasn't that hard. I see people online complaining about him killing you in 3 hits, but like, he's not that hard to dodge. Is this just a skill issue? Am I crazy? I mean, obviously my subscribers have no trouble with this guy or this game in general, and channel members like Tommy J. Wan and Mega Cartman X could beat this game with 2 hands behind their back, but for all of you who are not subscribed, first of all, please subscribe, but first, is Punk really that hard? Or is this just a skill issue by dweebs on the internet? Anyway, after defeating Punk, Wily raises a castle from underwater, which just feels unnecessary, and we have our only Wily stage of this game, meaning there's no refights, which is a shame. But my goodness, this stage is long enough to be an entire castle, which I guess it technically is. This stage is the most like the first Rockman World game. It's pretty difficult in nature, but the main problem is it's just stupidly long. There's so many enemies slowly draining your health, and every time you game over, you have to start from the very beginning. I think I have this entire castle memorized due to starting over so much. And the stupidest part is this rush jet section right here. Why even have this? This is absurd. You can't move rush jets up or down, so you just have to aim perfectly in this part or else you'll just die. But if you think that's bad, we also have another Crusher section, but this time with spikes. I won't lie though, this is still easier than the one from Dustman stage, and I don't even know how that's possible with how cheap some of these spike placements are. But after about 900 more rooms, we finally get to the boss, which luckily is just another easy suction cup thing, but wait, it's not over? How is it still going? This isn't even a checkpoint. What were they thinking? Luckily, shortly after is the Wily Machine fight, but don't forget, if you game over here, you're starting over from the very beginning, so good luck. This fight got me the first time, but I quickly realized he just jumps back and forth, so if you stay towards the middle of the screen and dodge the missiles, this first phase is really easy. The second phase also got me the first time, but then I realized he's just sitting there shooting balls at you, so if you dodge those and slowly kill him with Punk's weapon, it's really not that bad. But after defeating Dr. Wily this time, he escapes. Oh wait, never mind, he died again. and this time his skull explosion is crying. And the credits also teach us that this penguin is named Pepe. Silly credits, Pepe is a frog. This penguin's name is Bingus. But to summarize, this game was still a fun time. I know I complained about the difficulty a lot, but since the actual physics in this game felt good, it wasn't nearly as bad as the first Rockman World game, and I even liked that one if you saw my review on it. Rockman World 2 was much easier, and while I might have had a better time with that game than this one, I feel like Rockman World 3 is objectively better, but that's hard to explain. Like, you know when something is just better, but you like the other thing? I guess the closest thing to that is this one meme that I see sometimes, but I hope you guys know what I mean. Anyway, the difficulty was very balanced here, not too hard and not too easy. The stages were mostly remix versions like in Rockman World 2, but had a lot more original elements than Rockman World 2, which to me makes it a little bit better objectively. And again, it was just a fun time. So while there's still not much special about this game if you've played the NES games, it is fun and it's once again worth playing if you're a Mega Man fan. I'd give this game a 8.75 out of 10 in today's standards, so adjusting for inflation, that's gotta be a 10, right? I'm starting to understand why you guys have been begging me to play the Game Boy games for all these years. In fact, was it one of you that hired this guy to kidnap me? Because that would make a lot of sense.
You know what to do.
The hardest boss from this game is Punk, even though he's still easy. The easiest boss from this game is Drill Man. The stupidest boss from this game is Punk. The most powerful boss from this game is Gemini Man. The weakest boss from this game is Snake Man. The funniest boss from this game is also Snake Man. The best boss from this game is Punk. The worst boss from this game is Dust Man. The ugliest boss from this game is Spark Man. The prettiest boss from this game is Shadow Man. The most medium boss from this game is Snake Man. The easiest level from this game is Shadow Man. The hardest level from this game is Wily 2. The stupidest level from this game is Wily 1. The best level from this game is Skull Man stage. The worst level from this game is the Dust Man stage. The ugliest level from this game is Gemini Man stage. The prettiest level from this game is Skull Man stage. The most medium level from this game is Snake Man stage. The best castle boss is the first suction cup thing. The worst castle boss is the second suction cup thing. The most medium castle boss is the first suction cup thing. The ugliest castle boss is the second suction cup thing. The easiest castle boss is the first suction cup. The hardest castle boss is the second suction cup thing. The stupidest castle boss is the second suction cup thing. The ugliest enemy in this game are those things that come out of the eggs. The most annoying enemy in this game are the things that jump out of the holes. The best enemy from this game is the small snakeheads and Snake Man stage. And the worst enemy from this game are once again those stupid idiots that jump out of holes. The best weapon from this game is the Shadow Blade. The worst weapon from this game is Snake Search. The stupidest weapon from this game is Punk Sting, because I don't even know what that is. The stupidest spike in this game is the one you have to have Rush Jet to pass in Wily 2. The stupidest hole in this game is any hole where these stupid jerks jump out of it. The stupidest jump in this game are all the ones in Dive Man stage where you have to dodge those stupid spikes. And you know what? I'm changing the stupidest spike to all of those Dive Man spikes. Anyway, as always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it's starting to get repetitive with most of the levels just being remixed and most of the games being the same, so hopefully something changes in Rockman World 4.